Oh, that's my bad.
Happy Friday!
Hey, welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. It's live. There's no redos. There's no editing. We just go forward. Enter and deal, as they say in whitewater rafting. Once you're in the river, it's moving. You deal with whatever comes up. This is Live Coding Happy Hour. This is where we set out to accomplish something in the hour we're given with the tools we're given and maybe a little knowledge to make us dangerous. We know where we're going. We just don't know how we're going to get there. And in doing so, you learn about the thought process. We have a lively discussion with us and the people that are online. Who's us, you say? Good question. I'm going to start with this man to kick us off.
Hi, everyone. I am Earl Duque. I am a developer advocate here with ServiceNow. Before ServiceNow, which was about a year ago, I was with a bunch of customers doing development for mostly higher ed customers. But yeah, I'm excited for today because it's a true live coding happy hour that we haven't done in a while where we're actually building something. So that's fun. Lauren?
Heck yeah. Hey everybody, my name is Lauren McManaman. I am the newest addition to the team. I have been at ServiceNow as a company for about 5 years. All right, I think I just had my 5-year anniversary, but doing ServiceNow stuff in general for about 8. Prior to this, I was part of our solution consultant organization, so I'm still learning all the ropes. I'm super glad to be here, and I'll toss it back up to Chuck.
We're all learning the ropes, Lauren.
The mirrored video hurts me every time.
My name is Chuck Tomasi, Senior Developer Advocate at ServiceNow. Been here since 2010. Was a customer for about 2 years before that, and was at that organization for 22 years. So my computing history goes way, way back into the early 80s. And I'm sure you could find clues of what I was going to be when I grew up, when I was much, much younger than that, even though I wasn't messing with anything electrical aside from an outlet and a paper clip. But we won't talk about that anymore. Maybe that's where Live Coding Happy Hour got its start. All right, this is Live Coding Happy Hour. So we have a beverage of our choice at our disposal. Let's start again, same order. Earl, what do you got?
I have a Golden State cider, Jamaica, so fragrant, tart, tropical. Drinking a cider today.
Nice. Well, I have a very festive red Solo cup, but inside of it, it's not anything very fun. It's just a nitro coffee for me today.
But it's in a red Solo cup, so you feel like you're
I
at a
tried
party.
to add, I tried to be on theme.
The fact that you have those sitting around is just fun enough.
True.
Party at a moment. I have a Kona Longboard Island Lager.
You're still going through the Kona, huh?
What's that?
Still going through the Kona, huh?
Well, I think Donna's been mixing them up. It was either this, a Blue Moon, or a Dos Equis Amber. And I'm not really leaning towards the Dos Equis Amber right now. So I think I just had a Blue Moon. Anyway, that's our drinks for the day. We'll see how far we get through them. And if we get all the way through them and all the way through our task at hand, we will rate our beverages at the end of the show. And sometimes if we're successful, we give a 1/4 point bonus just for being successful. So the drinks are always better when you win.
True.
And what are we doing today, Earl?
Okay, so I know there's going to be so many caveats this episode of me like making asterisks here and there and stuff like that. But we're going to try to build a TikTok stat pull integration in ServiceNow. And the reason why we want to do that is because our team has this thing called Artifact Manager. And that's something that was built by this team on a ServiceNow instance, and it manages and tracks all the stuff that we've made for content, basically all of our content creation stuff, blogs, videos, live streams, external events, all that kind of stuff that is out there in the wild. We usually when you're doing this stuff for a job, you want to track it in some way, right? And so we have this thing called Artifact Manager, and it does a lot of these cool automations for us and does a lot of cool stuff. This stream used to be run by something on our Artifact Manager, stuff like that. It also does really cool stat pulls for us so that we kind of know like, oh, how well is certain content doing versus other content. I think one of our next things that we want to set up is performance analytics. Maybe that's a stream. Chuck, maybe.
Maybe.
But Something that we don't have actively tracking because we haven't built the integration for it is stuff for all of our short form content on TikTok. And so, if you have been paying attention to our channel in some semblance of the form, you might have seen any of these videos pop up. They call them YouTube Shorts, and you could tell most Tech Shorts shows up in this list. You could tell because it has this vertical video, and then it fills in the outside of the frame with like a zoomed in version. But they're when you open these videos inside YouTube, especially if you're on an app. Oh no, I guess on every interface now. It loads it into the YouTube Shorts scroller, the UI to scroll through videos. And this is a new media called short form content. And short form content is kind of taking over the world right now. And that's the main way that a lot of content is delivered nowadays. And so back in about May or June, we acknowledged like, hey, we don't have anything in short form. And maybe we want to try it. And so we started trying it. And it kind of blew our socks off and like wowed us with what kind of results that we came up with. So generally speaking, our pipeline has been like I post things on this little at Earlio SN account, and if you are following me and you've been wondering why this is, it's Earlio SN as in ServiceNow. A lot of people haven't caught on to that, but I've been using this as like kind of a proving ground for videos, and then I post videos onto the YouTube Shorts. But what I've learned is it doesn't even matter what the algorithms are different for both, so we've been learning a lot. But the reason why, so I want to before we jump into the integrations, I want to talk about why we're doing this. And some of the things that we are always trying to do is reach more people. And like most of you watching this, you're probably part of the ServiceNow ecosystem. What's up?
Is this the right handle?
That's right. On TikTok specifically. If you're watching this video now, you're probably part of the ServiceNow ecosystem. That's probably a fact. And that means that we've been making content for you for years now. And especially over the past couple of years, our content is based off of what we're good at. And that's kind of what we do in this role, is we try to do our best to bring content that we know and we can make well and stuff like that to the audience so that you all can learn from different things that we're learning at the same time and give you news, give you features, give you all this kind of stuff. But that being said, our demographic for this content is generally older. And so here we're unveiling the curtain a little bit. If you see our lifetime for this video, for this channel, our average viewers for under 25 years old is 14%. And it is what it is. Like, we've never really thought about age too much, but one of the things we always hear about in the ecosystem of ServiceNow is that there's so many people looking to hire ServiceNow developers. There's a huge gap of talent, basically. And we know from research and we know from internal research that we're going to need a lot more developers in the coming years. A lot more. I don't even know if we're allowed to say the numbers, but like in the tunes of, like, a lot.
Huh? 6 figures, and that's not the salary.
6 figures. We're looking for that many more developers, basically, to fill the ecosystem, fill the gap for all the open positions out there. And one of the things we need to acknowledge is the future is the next generation, right? It's younger people. I remember one of my first knowledges that I attended, I think 5 years ago. The CEO at the time was having a fireside chat with an audience, and I was there listening. And one of the things that really made me like, oh, I think I really want to stay within the ServiceNow ecosystem, it being my first year in the ecosystem, was that the CEO said out loud, no matter what we're doing, we always have to focus on the future. We always have to focus on younger people, because even though I'm older, the CEO said this, even though I'm older and I don't understand the younger people, I know that younger people are the future. And that we have to accommodate that, or else we will fail as a business, fail as a company, fail as software. And that resonated with me as a then younger person. Now I'm older, of course. And so that it makes it more apparent for us that reaching out to younger people, reaching out to, I mean, I'm not even that old. Like reaching out to people my age, reaching out to people younger than me is important. And if we're not doing that, if we're not trying to make content more relatable to that style of preference, then we might be doing a disservice to not just them, but to ServiceNow as a whole.
Mhm.
And so I had the idea of, hey, I used to make really silly skits and put them on YouTube back in the day, and they were usually short. And I know TikTok was getting more popular, and YouTube Shorts started promoting their stuff, and then Instagram came out with Reels. Basically, everyone's realizing, oh, short form content is the way to get it. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't understand that format though. Like I'm older. Like I don't feel like I understand it. But then I thought, well, that's probably how older generations felt about anything that I do now. And so there's always going to be that kind of bridge that we need to make. And um, I think we need to do it. And I think it's beneficial to everybody if we do it. And so when we started this like experiment of doing short form content, uh, the results were wild. We only tried it for like a month and a half, but the numbers were through the roof. So if I change this graph to just in the last 90 days, see this 14% just by these random tests. We brought our age demographic from of the under 25 demographic up 4 to 5%, depends on what we're doing at the time. And we finally saw for the first time ever the 13 through 17 years bar pop up, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that was an existing bar.
Hey, wait a minute! But all of our content says this is not for children. How are they getting it? Or it's children under 13?
Children under 13, like YouTube Kids.
Oh yeah. I think 13 and 17 is allowed.
I guess I am getting old if I think children are under 18.
Legally, as a child.
Lisa pointed out that earlier SN confused her because in SN is in Germany and is to eat, and I'm like, that's probably still fitting to me. I love to eat, so whatever. I still like to eat, whatever. But that's the fun part. Like so, these numbers are cool. That we're just by these little trials of short form content, we changed the demographic. We didn't lose any of our other demographic. We just gained more of that demographic, which is a great thing. Like we're still making all of our regular content that we've promised you all and that we want to do for you, and creating new series like Chuck's great Did You Know series that's been doing really well. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Like we're still doing all of the content, but we wanted to see what we can do to address this age gap, basically.
Yeah.
One of the really fun, let me pull up this picture that I just exported.
And there is something to be said too about like how these platforms are changing user preferences in general. Like it's not even just like obviously there's lovers and haters of TikTok, but it's just the mindset of like people's attention span gradually changing over time and making not only content to satisfy like legacy viewers, but to, follow the trends of how people are ingesting content.
Yeah, 100%. And so this picture I just exported it from my phone because the online analytics for TikTok is not that great. But the views that I've been getting on the TikTok side of things is even more interesting because it's 30% under 25. It's more female than our YouTube channel. It's just fun stuff, like more engagement, more likes, more comments. People are so much more engaging in this platform, and it's been very interesting to see what goes well and what doesn't go well and what kind of content in it. So we have this program where we're still doing it. And we're going to continue to trial it out and stuff like that, see what kind of content sticks. Because right now we're still doing entertainment, a lot of entertainment to just get people exposed to the channels, to get them interested in click through. And we've had really good click through rates too. So people are watching these videos and still going to the regular channel and looking at our other stuff. So it's been an interesting experiment that we're going to keep seeing, and then we're going to present our findings to people and see what we want to do with that in the future. Because right now the program has been me like at nighttime when my family's asleep, making silly videos and running around the house trying not to wake up my wife and my baby. But that's been what it's been so far. So we're seeing what we can do that in the future. Okay, So let's start diving in. Thank you for listening to my little explanation of why we're doing this, because I know our YouTube audience doesn't necessarily overlap with our TikTok audience. So I wanted to explain that and get you all interested and excited to potentially also join and get in on the fun, because the content over there is pretty funny and pretty entertaining and pretty insightful. So I don't need to keep plugging. I'll just keep going into the Okay, so I'm in my instance, my Earl ServiceNow instance. I do want to be. I usually try to be transparent about any of the prep work I did, and mostly the prep work I did. Here, I even wrote it down. I did create a API key for TikTok for a third-party TikTok API. The actual TikTok API gave me so many problems. I basically just like gave up and went over to a third-party one. In ServiceNow, I created a credential just so that you all wouldn't see that key when I typed it in.
What?
The amount of times we've had, okay, we're going to have to change the key after this show.
FOD gone.
Artifact Manager, which is what I talked about, the thing that manages our content. I imported it into my instance. So this is a development instance now. It's not the actual production instance. And then I imported, I copied some of the records from the production instance into this one. So that's the prep work I did. Everything else is not really prepared. So we're at the whims of how far we can get in this episode now. Okay.
You know what I'm going to ask first, Earl?
I already increased the size.
Of the font?
Is that enough? More? Is that good?
You have a very big screen. It's
okay, 200?
That'll work.
Okay.
That'll work.
We'll see. If the forms and whatnot start getting crazy layout, then you have problems.
Okay, so here's some of the records I imported. This is the ones that we did onto YouTube Shorts, so you'll see all the different things that I've uploaded regarding YouTube Shorts and some future content that, ooh, did you see that? Too late, I just scrolled away. And then some of the how things were doing. Like we get a good amount of things that break the trial period, as we call it, for views. And then we've had one or two that actually did really well. On the TikTok side of things, if we can get to that point, we'll show you how wild it's been for the TikTok side of things, because there's been a lot of views over there. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm trying to architect it out loud real quick. I want to build a table to be able to track which channels we want to track video stats on, in case we want to expand this. Also in this, I've already created a new branch for Artifact Manager. So I'm building this on a new branch in case we want to merge this later. Yeah, okay, so we're going to make a table. Then we're going to make when you submit something on that table, you need, according to the API, you need a unique identifier for the user. So we're going to make a flow that pulls that. And then we're going to make the flow that gathers the stats for all the existing videos on that channel to put it inside Artifact Manager. That's kind of the route we're going to go. So first off, we're going to make that new table. I don't have this in App Engine Studio. I have it just in regular Studio. There's going to be some things that we do for Chokio stuff, and I'll try to point it out as we go through. But I'm going to take this full screen so people can read it better. Sweet. Okay. So Artifact Manager.
So you're building the spoke right in an Artifact Manager? Why not make it a bespoke spoke?
Because I'm honestly not so much experience in making new spokes, so I wanted to get the actual stat pulls done instead of struggling with my new tries with the spoke.
It's actually pretty easy, and the advantage is that you can use it in other applications rather than sharing the entire application. For example, if you throw this on GitHub and somebody wants to contribute and go, hey, I want to help Earl build the TikTok spoke, we could do it that way.
Yeah, I also thought if I wanted to try and learn more about it, but the thing is, I'm not using the official TikTok API, so I wasn't sure if we were going to even go the route of posting it online anyways. But let me do the table first, and then maybe I'll have you talk me through doing the spoke side of things, because we're not on the spoke side yet.
It's like one extra step.
All right. I lost my train of thought. Oh,
singular.
Oh yeah. Still in the chat. He'll get mad at me for that.
It's a common thing I do to Earl.
You know which one it should go under. Okay, so the main
Probably
things
don't need a new mobile module either.
Yeah, sure. All right, so the main thing is you need the username, and that needs the username, and that's a string. It needs this. It's called secure ID, I think it is. So sec ID. That is a string, and that's a long string. So I usually do it by byte numbers. Oops. And then I think that's the main things I need. Oh, I think
active.
Oh yeah, active. Active.
True, false.
Yep.
Default true.
Yep. And the last thing I know I wanted it to do is when this creates the artifact inside Artifact Manager, I want it to be assigned to I want to know who it should be assigned to. A reference to the user table. Okay, so I think that's the simple table we got.
Very nice.
Okay, so I need to do two. I'm asking Chuck now. I needed to do two, basically two
actions
grabs to the API. Should those be? Is that all in one spoke, or is that two different spokes? It's the same.
Are
API.
they two different functions, or is one predicated on the other? Or how are they related?
One is entirely just grabbing the this special ID.
Okay.
The other one is using that ID to get all of the users' videos and the stats.
Is there any other API that also needs that ID? Like, does every other API call? If we were to extend this out past just what you want to build, I assume there's lots of other APIs to get videos, get stats, get the entire channel listing.
Yeah, they all will use this.
They all use that? I would make them two separate actions then. Otherwise, you're going to be reproducing that same step in every action.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I should be making a
new app.
Create app. Okay.
Now you said it was a third party. Is it? We could call this TikTok Spoke, or we could call it by its third party name.
That's what it's called.
Tick API. Good. Call it Tick API Spoke then.
API.
Cool.
Put Spoke in the name.
Oh.
Trust me on that.
Okay.
All right. Do you want an icon so it shows up in Flow Designer nice with the pretty icon?
Later.
Later. Okay.
Really got an hour.
Create. Now hit continue, lower right. Or lower left. No. I'm sorry, lower left. There was continue. Go back. There. Continue in Studio. That's all you really need is the scope. Now you can go into Flow Designer and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to just refresh real quick, jump into that.
You said you already created the credentials. Are those a credential? Is it a credential alias?
It's a credential and credential alias.
Okay. Those are probably not in the right scope because you want your credential alias in this scope so it goes along with the spoke.
Okay, when we'll get there, we'll stop sharing screen then.
Okay, not a problem.
We just don't want docs.
Okay, so basically what we're going to do is when we create a record and I put in a username like this.
Yes.
We can make this read only later. And when I save it, I want that flow to grab that information.
Do you want it read only, or do you want it as a password field so it's like hidden?
It's not really. There's another level of authentication that is more secure, but we're not really using it. This sec ID is just it's actually to get public information, so it's actually not harmful for it to go out. Good question though. That was a good question. All right, well, I'm not going to save that. So we're going to jump into Flow.
Let's start making some actions.
Yar.
Yars. Well, this creating of actions, we'll see the first change from Tokyo.
You can leave off the Tick API because that'll be under the menu that way too. And if you feel like you're going to have a lot of these, you could create some categories like this is for videos, this is about the channel, this is about the user. Kind of depends where you want to go with that. But you can always categorize them later too.
Okay.
Yay. All right. So what do we need to pass it?
So what we're going to give it, oh, I love this part about it.
About making it big.
The big front part. Yeah. You could probably back it off one tick. I hereby grant you authority. On order of the Pope, he says you can reduce your font size.
Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to jump right into a rest step.
Look how different it looks. That's
the first Tokyo thing. That's right. That's the first Tokyo thing. It's side by side prettier instead of taking up so much space. And it has this...
I like this better.
It's so much prettier. Right when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is better. Good job. Good job.
And they describe each thing too. It's so nice.
Yeah. So that's one of the first things that is new in Tokyo. So I just added a rest step. So let's jump into that.
We just justified the Tokyo logo in the upper right.
Okay.
It is now officially a Tokyo stream.
I'll let you all talk to the audience while I recreate this credential in the right scope.
Sorry.
And just the credential
you just need to make the alias, Earl. You just need to make the alias because the credential is not in the scope.
Right.
That's the whole point of credential aliases.
Yeah.
It's so that the rest step or SOAP or whatever you're using can use that alias,
right,
and it's taken along with the spoke. So when you install it on another machine, it's like, yes, I know I need to put a credential, but at least I know that the alias is going to be pointing. It's a way of abstracting the two. It took me a long time to wrap my mind around why do we have credential aliases and connection aliases. It's to give you that connection point in the spoke or in the integration that you can bring with the spoke. You don't have to tweak it every time you install it. It already is out there looking. It says, in order for me to work, I need something called tick API. Maybe it's just x underscore blah, blah, blah dot tick API. That's what it's looking for. And you attach the instance specific credentials and connections to that.
Mm-hmm. Very exciting. Well, I was just looking through all the comments. I kind of I polled the group to see how many people use TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Reels. It seems a lot of people have tried it, and it's not necessarily sticking yet for a lot of people. So this might be a kind of a new kind of stream. There we go.
Whoa.
I'm just hitting buttons. This is
hopefully no one has motion sickness.
I'm just hitting buttons. Okay. So we have the credential in here, the credential alias, and the base URL. So I'm going to go ahead and grab where that API goes.
Base URL should have come from the credential alias. You have a credential alias, not credential and connection alias. Okay.
Right. Because I wanted to build this inline.
Okay. I generally don't, but this will work.
Yeah, even if y'all don't use any of these platforms, this is a good just introduction into building REST steps and REST actions as well. So
there's the base. There's the path.
Yep.
According
Probably
to the
need some headers.
Yep.
I'm gonna guess
the key is the main one. Well, the main one is key actually. Now that we have this credential alias in there, that's actually part of the step credential value. So it's there.
Very nice.
And then according to the API,
I'm going to guess you probably need a content type in there as well.
When I played with the sandbox API, you actually don't.
Ooh.
They always give you the same return.
I think YouTube will actually fail without it.
I mean, it should. Like, that's the better way to make an API.
Yeah.
And country is US, because I think they track. I think that's all I needed to do. And so after that, all I want to do is update. Oh, that means I need another. No, let's just return it. Yeah, because we can just.
Yeah, it's just going to return because
yeah,
you're going to consume this somewhere else. So you need an output.
Yeah.
But don't you need to parse the payload or something?
JSON.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget the output.
Okay.
Yeah.
You probably want a JSON parse after your REST. That's a very common situation.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget the output.
Yes. How many times have we done that?
Okay, so after the REST step, then we do a JSON parse.
We have a good question from Kopal in the chat. So let me go ahead and highlight that. Which is your first choice, SOAP or REST, and why? Sounds like a good
If I'm in the
question.
shower, then it's SOAP. If I'm in
Stop.
bed, I REST.
Stop.
I almost always
Seriously,
go with
that's a
REST.
good question. I
It's
go
almost
by
always
REST by
REST.
default.
Yeah.
By default.
REST is a default. Yeah, SOAP is kind of a legacy thing. In fact, a lot of services have deprecated SOAP in favor of REST. And as we discovered earlier this year, some are even deprecating REST in favor of GraphQL.
Yeah, seriously.
So that might be another upcoming live coding happy hour that we need to address. REST is so the why REST over SOAP? But it's a little more modern. You don't have to deal with the WSDL as you do in SOAP, which is the web services definition language that you either have to define or preload or download and then determine what functions and features and fields and all that stuff. That's the purpose of the WSDL. It's a dictionary. Whereas REST, it's predefined as part of the API. It says, I need this URL parameter, I need this header parameter, I need this body parameter, whatever. It defines where you're going to put things and what you're going to get back as part of the API documentation itself. Wow, nice job, Earl. You did a lot while I was blabbing.
Catching us up.
Heck yeah.
I took the example payload from the API documentation. I basically, so in the JSON parser step, first you tell it what the source data is going to be to reinterpret this information, and that's usually the response body of your REST step. And then I took that example payload and I pasted it into this this basically payload structure, lattice is I usually call it, or like a little tree. And when you press generate target, it takes that and it basically says like, okay, when you access this step, I am going to give you all of these things that you can potentially use. And we're going to assume that your payload is going to have something in this structure. So you go ahead and use that in the rest of your flow or rest of your action, actually.
Yep.
So that is done. I'm going to save. That's the first time I hit save on this. So
we're not doing any error checking either. No error handling for Earl.
What?
Not today.
I think if you're used to me seeing these things, I tend to like just go far and then see what happens for the next first step. And then go back.
I'm more incremental. I will test like every step. Did I get it? Good. Now what can I do? Did I get it? Now what can I do?
But then you don't get the feeling of ultimate triumph by building an entire thing and it works on the first try. That's like the highest high you can get.
Once in my life of 40 years of development, I wrote 600 lines of code and it ran on the first try, and I was astounded.
And I've been chasing that dragon ever since. I did that once in college, and like the feeling of like one and done, it just makes you feel like you're invincible, but it never happens.
Okay, so I guess we should just test it now, finally.
Yes.
So let's do earlio. That's n.
Yes. Ooh.
Oh no.
Invalid Earl.
Invalid query.
Uh-oh. Did you just show off your key?
No, it shouldn't have. It's usually
Okay, are all the I can't read it from here, but
Yeah.
are all the URL parameters denoted properly with question marks and
asterisks,
ampersands, and
let's check.
Parsable?
All right, so here's the API base path. There's the and then username.
Does it put in a slash between the resource path and the base path?
I would think so. I would hope so.
If you go into the execution details, did it say it did?
Yeah, let's check.
I always wonder about that.
I think it does.
Yeah, it has a slash.
Okay, good.
Check username.
The username equals.
Let's go to where did the API tab go? Let's check the API real quick. Make sure that our URL is matching what they're saying. Username. Let's check the curl. That'll be easier.
Mm.
Oh, it's just username on that one. Let's drop the country one and see what happens.
Ooh, ha ha ha.
Oh, while we're there, let's what other. All right, it does have an accept. Let's add it in. On my sandbox test, I didn't need
I'm
it.
surprised, except usually content type is what I'm giving you, except is what you give me back.
X API keys spelled correctly. Do you think I don't need the base URL /?
Oh, that's it. Because when we were doing a class with the SCs, I believe that was our problem as well.
Okay, let's check.
Fun fact, when I was teaching a little class on REST, we used a horoscope API. We were getting everyone's horoscopes. It's pretty fun.
What do you think this is doing?
I don't know what that is. I was
That's
about to ask you. I was like, I don't know
That
what
is
those
incorrect.
characters are.
So let's go back. It's adding stuff to it. Let me just completely delete that and see.
Does it say "ha ha Hugo"?
Oh my gosh, Chuck.
Instead of doing
Oh my gosh.
Instead of doing it in query parameters, can you add it just to the resource path and like drag in, like instead of using the builder, just like write it into like the resource path using the data pills?
We're trying.
It's kind of cheating
could.
it. But that way we know if it's working, you know?
Is there a way to do? Isn't there a way to make a default value for this when you do tests?
Yes.
How? I can't remember how. Do you remember?
Go to your inputs. There'll be a default value in there.
Ah, duh, Earl.
Ah, very nice.
Yay.
Very cool.
Saves me
Don't forget to take it out.
Hey!
Oh, there you go. It didn't like it in the query builder, the parameter builder.
Wow.
Well, let's make sure the payload came back right.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
Chuck Pro username missing fields.
Maybe it is the US it needs.
No, it was saying specifically for the username is missing.
It's a method failed though. Public check is giving you a 400.
Oh.
Username. Oh, the method is probably failing because the parameters are wrong.
Just worth a try real quick. Welcome also everyone to live coding happy hour where we just keep running through things and while we try our best.
Bang our head a lot.
That's the fun part.
This is like more harkening back to how we used to just run these shows. It's just like, oh, we're gonna get through as much as we can, and I'm sorry if we didn't complete it. I mean, when I first learned how to do the Slack integration with ServiceNow, I had to watch through all 3 live coding happy hours because it was spread out across 3 episodes.
Because we didn't finish in time.
Nope. But I learned a lot
fun.
from that. It's still not coming up right. What if you're all gonna hate me for this? What if?
Yeah, just put it in the base. Hey. Let's see.
What was that, Chuck? Did Chuck break up?
Yeah, man down. Man
We
down.
lost Chuck. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Let's see what happens. We lost Chuck. Oh, we got robot Chuck. Even better. Oh, and now it's coming up with invalid query again.
Fascinating.
All right, let's drop this one because we had it
Remove
successful
it.
last time.
Yeah.
Oh, we have 3 pixel Chuck now.
Yeah. Toaster camera Chuck. Oh,
We lost him.
hey, he's gone.
Okay, let's move it back. That's apparently a bad idea. What was going on with this one?
Is there any way it could be the credential value, perhaps?
No, if it didn't have a good credential value, that would have errored first, actually.
Oh,
But
that's true.
I
Yeah,
can
it wouldn't
show
have even
you.
gone through.
Yeah, I can show you them that one. So I mean, which is a good test because it's a good attempt to make sure everything is looking right.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, it's the same for one first. Interesting. Why is it not
Huh.
validating in the right order?
That's even weirder.
Why are these third-party APIs ridiculous sometimes? Okay,
Yeah.
but let's just move forward, assuming that is actually working because we are getting we're getting this error still.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to verify. Oh, you know what? We didn't verify. Let's verify that. Oh wait, we did verify that. It is showing in the URL early OSN. It's not like
Mm-hmm. It just adds those extra characters at the end, which was so odd. It was like early SN, numerical sign.
Oh, look at this.
What is that? A period? A dot? What are those from?
What are those?
Spaces? What is that?
Huh. Okay, well, let's try to look at that. Oh, there he is. Well, on here, it's not showing that. Hey, Chuck, do you know these these bullets inside of the key value? Do you know if that's like it's trying to tell us something, or is that? Oh no, see, it's an actual character.
That's
even weirder.
Interesting.
So that might be the reason.
Where did you put the key? Okay, try a different header. Well, accept doesn't have one, right?
No.
They both
Just
did.
that G.
Oh, accept
Accept
did
did?
have a bullet?
In that execution, yeah, they both did.
Interesting.
Oh wait, what was? I can't see anything there. What is? All right, well, let's just. Oh, it's not. I didn't even change anything. It doesn't think I changed anything. So let's look at it again. Well, yeah. So this shows up there when we open up. Well, it's not there in raw text. So I'm guessing this code thing is just trying to tell us something. I don't know what it's trying to tell us.
Yeah, stick with raw text.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So I don't think that's that. The resource path is correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let's verify something real quick with their sandbox stuff. So
Is it a? It is a get, right? You got the right method?
it is a get, yeah.
Okay.
They have a demo API key. Let's plug that instead just to test it.
Oh. Good idea.
That was nice of them.
I know, right? An actual demo sandbox.
No errors.
No, it's the same one.
Yep, same method.
Okay, so I'm thinking it's something that we're doing on our end, how we're building it. So let's keep looking at it. Resource path.
Not seeing anything out of the ordinary.
We really should let us put it here. Username. And well, have we tried with the slash? I don't think it matters. It's doing that thing at the end again. Do we know what that? Do you know what that is encoded? Does anybody know? Chat.
If what's encoded?
What does this encoded right here mean?
I don't know. I've never seen extraneous stuff get added onto the URL like that.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I've never seen that. I was trying to figure out what it was, but I
mean, we made an entirely new If I, so this is completely empty, delete and backspace. Now let's go to the input and just drag it in there. Let's make sure the input's not, I mean, there's nothing weird would happen on the input.
No.
Nope.
I'm not drinking.
Even when you hard coded it before.
I'm not drinking enough.
I got enough for both of us.
The same thing.
%EF, %BB, % something. It's like those are some interesting encoded characters.
Byte order mark.
Okay.
It's encoding weirdly. Okay, so I mean, we can't move forward without that sec ID, so we're gonna keep trying it. Okay, so let's we know it was validating when we had it up here, so let's move it back up here. Get rid of that. After this test, I'm going to go back to the credential alias to make sure it's correct.
Okay.
Oh wait, we're not even using the credential alias.
No, you're using the demo right now. I'm still getting a 400.
All right. While you talk to our lovely audience about different things, I am going to load up a Postman and see if I can get things to work on there.
Yeah, I was just reading Copel's comment that says, I have a confession, I use Postman a lot. And a lot of times I will do that just to, when you get into these situations, you want to make sure that, is it something ServiceNow is doing, or is it something that I'm doing to the data? Where's the issue? Let's take ServiceNow out of the equation, which is what Earl's going to do with Postman real quick. And you could do the same thing. There was another one I covered in the integration series that I can't remember what the name is. But there's a number of tools that will do the same kind of thing. Third-party application that just says, here, have an HTTP request of some type. And we'll see how that goes. Earl is going to slap that together as fast as possible. There was another architectural discussion that I was going to have, and now I don't remember what it was, but it was coming up around the integration, and for the life of me, I can't remember. We got sidetracked.
I need to know what Earl's expression was in reference to. I needed a massive face pump.
I'm going to verify it works on the flow before. No, it's
no spoilers.
But you found it?
I thought I did. Since we're using the demo key now, we have to change the API basic URL. So there's that.
Just for the demo one, though.
Yeah, for the demo one specifically. Okay. Let me pull that back up.
Oh, I know what the other architectural thing was. Your thought earlier was, when you get a record or series of records from TikTok, to do an update record. Okay. The other option to think about is put them into an import set. Use the import set API, and that way you can have the value of transform maps and whatnot. My son-in-law and I just had this discussion a couple nights ago. He said, when would you use an import set, and when would you just get the data and stuff it into a record? And I said, if you've got the option of using an import set, use that, because you may have things like date transformations that need to be massaged before the data goes in. And the import set gives you the automatic capability of doing, should I insert or should I update, by turning on coalesce features. Which field or fields are you going to coalesce on? If you don't use an import set, that can be very annoying to have to do your own lookup and say, have I seen this record before? If so, and you declare in your flow which key you're going to use, which field you're going to use as a lookup value. So think about import sets when you're importing, even with a spoke like this. It could prove to be very useful.
All right, we're back. Okay, so here it is in Postman. I I don't think I can increase this view size. Sorry. Let's make sure, and it works in Postman. So there's that.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
I'm gonna copy
You went
everything
to
from here.
sandbox.tilapia.io.
Yeah, I changed that already. Wow.
That's what Google wanted to autocorrect me on. I was trying to read the docs. It says, "You mean tilapia?" Like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yes, Google. I do need to know.
Same. Okay, just making sure.
Username,
Headers.
okay. Headers.
Here's that MO key. Copy that.
Yep.
MO key. That.
Yep.
Now this is doing an accept anything.
Nice.
It's hard to remember too, like what is case sensitive in this, like in these circumstances. I always struggle with that part.
A lot of the headers don't care, like content-type or accept, but I try to keep them. Oh no!
Same thing.
Okay. Did it?
Love it when it works in Postman, but not in ServiceNow.
All right. Well, that makes for an interesting show.
This is the demo data. Okay. I'm going to try one more thing with the credential thing. So I'm going to take off the screen again. So go ahead and my lovely coworkers, go ahead and fill time while I do this.
Welcome to Coffee Talk.
Jace just joined. He was asking what we were up to. Right now, we are attempting to use a third-party API to integrate ServiceNow to pull all of the analytics from Earl's TikTok videos he's been putting out.
Well, we're not using the TikTok API because apparently it doesn't work so well. So Earl found a third API called TickAPI.io, which theoretically works better, but we're struggling with something. We got it to work in Postman, but it's not working so well in Flow Designer, in the Action Builder. So, as a friend of mine says, this must be a medium show because it's neither rare nor well done.
I will always put out a little asterisk that we are still using a not generally released version of ServiceNow on Tokyo, so it also may be a bug for all we know.
Oh, did you just hide behind the early availability flag?
100%. 100%.
Well done. Wow,
That's
she
the
learned
best thing.
quick.
Hey, I worked in sales for a long time. That was like our bread and butter.
Now the dirty little sales secrets come out.
True. That safe harbor slide. It's a good one. Man, oh man. Well, on the other note, right? So what is upcoming in this next week regarding, because this is like the final week prior to the Tokyo, speaking of Tokyo, the Tokyo release, Chuck, is there any big things coming out next week?
Yeah, the 21st is, of course, our general availability for Tokyo. So you can start updating your customer instances or partner instances to Tokyo patch 1, I believe it is. I think patch 1 came out. We do have a lot of Tokyo content, as Earl has. How did you do that? You're supposed to be fixing your API thing. You did that. Oh, Lauren's got her finger on the button now.
I'm learning.
One person talks, one person types, and one person pushes buttons.
Correct.
Works well. So yes, we've got a whole bunch of content for Tokyo over at devlink.sn/Tokyo. We are about halfway through our Tokyo season, maybe a little bit more. Lots of Creator Toolbox and Live Coding Happy Hour and podcasts and blogs and lots of good stuff.
We have a Creator Toolbox next week on App Engine Management Center, which was a release that came out in San Diego, which, as every developer on ServiceNow knows, V2 is like the real deal, like the meat and potatoes of like what a product can be. So I've seen it already. It's very exciting. We are hosting Brooke from the product team to kind of give us a deep dive on that. So that'll be Tuesday morning.
Yep, and we'll have a podcast with her coming out on Wednesday too.
Oh, good point. Double trouble.
Yep. AEMC week. It's like Shark Week,
gosh,
only for nerds.
Okay, this is. I don't understand this API. This is okay. I could talk for hours about best practices for APIs because I've
Yeah.
done so many of my own APIs and scripted REST APIs and all that stuff about document how your API is nothing or your API is only as good as your documentation and consistency across your thing. I'm gonna show
Here
you all.
comes. I can't wait.
I love
Okay,
rants.
so
It's fun.
I wanted to just jump. I have this my ID via via Postman. I got the ID, so I jumped forward and said, okay, I'm just going to go straight to um, getting the post and see if that works instead of trying to get the sec ID anymore. And I put it on the same things. I put it in the query builder, and when I test this one, it actually worked. So I don't know what's going on with the get user information endpoint. But this one, when I scroll down, if I go to the payload, here it is. It's working.
Damn.
Yeah, these are my
Wow.
videos.
There they
So,
are.
don't know what's going. And now, if we had more time, we would take this and parse it and put it into a get it iterated through a subflow and etc. and then put it in records with some uniqueness. But dang, couldn't get
Could
to
always
that.
be a part 2.
I guess so. I guess we could start wrapping that up, that conversation. But if any, I wanted to see if we could get. I wanted to get this part, which is the main meat and potatoes, like the main thing. See if we can get it working, just in case somebody stumbles upon this on their search engine and says, "Oh, I want to do a ServiceNow TikTok thing," and I'm banging my head against it, and I don't know why. Here's your information of that endpoint might not work well in ServiceNow, so we have to either build it in a different way, maybe use outbound REST, or keep trying with these things. But for that endpoint regarding where is it? This endpoint, the get user feeds post. This one works. Users
Clip
feed
it.
post. That one
Clip
works.
this right here. This one works.
Yeah, and that returns a huge payload of the I think the last 30 videos, which I think I don't even have that many yet, with all the stats and information. And that was going to be my little like, look, y'all, one of the videos is at 121,000 views.
Damn,
With
that's
like
awesome.
16,000 likes or something like that. So
That's nuts. That's so cool.
fun stuff. But I think I wasn't sure how far we were going to get with this episode, and that's why I wanted to start with that talk about why we're doing this, because that's like the more important thing to me, is making sure everyone knows like we have a vision that for why we're doing all the random things that we're trying to do, because developer relations is a very new field kind of thing. Developer advocacy, developer relations, all that stuff. We're constantly throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, just to see like how we can try to address some of the things that we're hoping for, like more developers in the ecosystem. And that's the plain thing. I think we all want more developers in the ecosystem. And so this is one of our strategies that we've been doing so far, which has been fun. It's been entertaining. If you have ideas for videos or want to collaborate on any of these videos, I would love that. It's hard coming up with these things every night. So if you have an idea, I would love some of that stuff. Cool. Sorry, we didn't get too far on the demo. I guess we're gonna have to continue this on another live stream.
We had a lot of good discussions in between. That's all right. Thanks for putting yourself out there, Earl.
Thank you. Great job, Earl.
Let's rate the beers.
Oh yeah.
Or drinks or whatever. Earl, you're first.
This cider is actually really good. I would give this a 4. I would give it a solid 4.
What is like the general flavor profile of that?
It's fragrant, tart, and tropical.
Oh, okay. Is it kind of like a sour or fruity, like daiquiri kind of thing?
It's like a sour. It's like a sour fruity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
How's your coffee, Lauren?
The Starbucks Nitro cold brew coffee. I get the like little cans from Amazon. It's a lot cheaper than getting it from the store. It's always a good winner. I'll give it a 4 as well because it's not outstanding, but it definitely gets the job done caffeine wise.
Mine's gone as of just
Good.
now.
Fun.
So good savory lager. Nothing over the top, but I could drink that every summer day there is. So I'm going to give that a 4.
4's all around. Pretty good day.
4's all around.
It won't be a full episode of Live Coding Happy Hour where I get to drive if I don't mention how sweaty I am now.
No.
It's so warm.
Earl, we are only a couple weeks away from October. Do we have any announcements for Hacktoberfest?
We kind of do. Okay, so we are around the corner for October. For all of you that don't know, we like to participate in DigitalOcean's Hacktoberfest, where it encourages everyone to participate in source control on GitHub. And if you do a certain amount of pull requests that get approved, then you get a really neat T-shirt with a bunch of stickers and everything. And a lot of us like to participate in that. And we try to make it easy for ServiceNow developers to participate in it. We are doing it again this year. Details will come next week. We don't have those. We're in the planning. We're still planning some of that stuff right now, and we're gonna try to make multiple ways for people to participate. And we're getting a couple. We have another team helping us build some repos too. So we have a bunch of different things coming up. I mean, I don't want to overpromise, but we're building stuff. Just pay attention to the blog. You'll see it come up.
It's going to be hard to match last year's success. That was
Holy
over
moly.
the top.
Yeah, we increased participation by 700% or something.
And thank you everybody who did participate in that. That was awesome. I quick announcement. I will be in Copenhagen on the 17th. We are looking to do a Copenhagen chapter developer meetup on the 15th of November. So it's still a couple months out as of when we're recording this. So if you're in that neighborhood and want to get together, stop on by. Love to see you there. Send me a message if you have any questions or want to make a plans. There's a conference put on by one of our partners called the Cloud People. The conference is called Workflow 22. So if you go to thecloudpeople.com/workflow22, if you're interested in going to the conference in general, early bird pricing is through the end of September. So check it out. Should be a fun time. It's not as big as, say, a knowledge event, but similar flavor from what I'm gathering from the organizers. So looking forward to seeing a lot of people in real life there. We also have a lot of other plans, and we will divulge them as we get closer and have some firm dates and locations and whatnot for that. So until then, everybody take care, stay safe, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.